Hello everybody, welcome back to RXMemes. Thank you so much. We just hit 600 subscribers. That's 101 day and I am shook. I cannot believe it. It's time for your daily dose of Reddit, from me at least, and we are diving into r/ProRevenge because we all love it. So get ready to get really satisfied, and if you like this kind of content, I would love for you to subscribe, hit that notification bell. I upload every single day, and let's get right into it. After months of putting up with my roommate from hell, I got the revenge of a lifetime and screwed her over out of a fuck ton of money and got her to pay rent, and life has never been sweeter. This is a long one, posted by user /LetTheRightOneIn. This is a long one, but very much worth the ride, so buckle up. Also, English isn't my native language, sorry if there are any mistakes. This story takes place a couple of years back, during college. I lived with several roommates, all of them were nice and we got along well. Except for this one bitch, let's call her Karen. If Satan and Hitler had a child, and that child had a child with Stalin and Cruella de Vil, that would be Karen for you. She is a loud-mouthed, stupid, egocentric bitch who has the face that scared the shit out of a toilet. She would never clean up after herself. She would always leave her plates and things at the spot where she last used them. I have lost counts of how many times I caught her stealing my clothes without asking. And if you so much as touch her clothes, she loses her shit on you. Or her drinking our lactose-intolerant roommate's almond milk, and anytime we confronted her for drinking it, she would shrug and say, "I only had a sip, stop being stingy." She plays her music loud at night, invites strangers without giving any heads up. A time or two, she didn't pay rent, even though her parents are filthy rich, and she is wearing Gucci and Prada shit. Karen also fucking lies about everything, even things that are not worth lying about. Like, if she woke up at 7 and you ask her, she'll lie through her teeth and say she rose with the sun because she is a natural. P.S. This is something I actually heard her say to her parents while she was Skyping them. So cringy. Who the F says that? But I digress. Months we have effing put up with her. Of course, we tried to get other roommates, but unfortunately, when we all moved in everything, all documents and contracts were done in her name, so kicking her out would require a lot of effort, and most of us were busy with school and work and life happens. So we ignore it as much as we can, and we try to move on. We are now all seniors and in our final semesters, meaning graduation was coming, and Karen is planning a backpack trip across Europe with her friends as a graduation gift to herself. This is important, so remember this. One of our roommates and my closest friend, Sasha, has had a crush on a guy that lives down the hall. Anytime the two of them are together, Sasha and the guy keep giving each other googly eyes and blushing faces. It was so cute. Sasha is a verbally autistic person and has never dated anyone because she has a hard time with socializing and understanding social cues and subtlety, which, let's face it, that is the core of dating, especially flirting, but with a lot of encouragement from me and the final roommate, Lola, we got her to ask him out. He said yes. She was so happy, you guys. She flew back into the apartment and did an hour of happy dance with her arms flailing about and a shit-eating grin on her face. Needless to say, we were all so happy. Karen caught wind of this, and it just so happens at that time she was having relationship problems. I guess her boyfriend finally realized he's dating human garbage. Not one to be outshined, Karen, behind all of our backs, went to the guy's place and spun lies about Sasha, saying she is a serial cheater, and even made a fake account for Sasha's so-called boyfriend. The guy never called Sasha, and eventually weeks passed by and he told us why, but by then Sasha felt like the damage was done and lost interest in him. I was fucking furious. This level of dickery and bloody pettiness is the straw that finally broke the camel's back, and I vowed I wouldn't effing leave until I served my slice of justice. Here is another character that you must know about. Professor C. His wife, 2 years ago, was in a horrible car accident and as a result is in a wheelchair. This is especially problematic because she was a stay-at-home mom that took care of their 2 special needs kids, and they have a toddler at home. Home life is a mess for him. He is running ragged between working and single-handedly is taking care of his family. The university took pity and also feared the workload would see one of their best and most beloved teachers leave the school, struck a deal with him to help him out. In all of his classes, there will be quizzes and midterms. This doesn't change, but assignments you submit and he corrects at the end of the year. This is important because our university has zero tolerance on profs that don't constantly update the students' courseworks so that the students have a chance to improve their grades. Karen, the lazy and stupid witch she is somehow skating through his assignments, even though they require a shit ton of research and writing. I accidentally learned that one of her older friends told her that she only needs submit the paper on its due date and to only write the first 3 pages and use a paraphrase tool for the rest of the paper, so the plagiarism software won't detect it and would think it's original material. And when the end of the year comes, submit a hard copy, but with the first pages being her actual work and the rest being completely plagiarized. Professional work. Professor C won't know because the likelihood a man as busy as him thoroughly checking the work of 120 plus students is pretty low. I grinned. A plan was beginning to formulate in my head. Oh, sweet mother of Jesus, she is going down. All semester long, I let her do this for all of the 7 papers. One of them, which is a term paper that has 20% on it alone. All the while, I spied and gathered all of her passcodes, social media, her student ID, everything. The end of the year came, and I compiled all of her assignments, both the original one with the paraphrasing tools she used to circumvent plagiarism, and the one she finally handed them in. And I even made photos where there are side-to-side comparison of the assignments. This is a good start, but not enough. So, one day, chilling at the living room, I open a conversation about relationships. Karen is 2-timing her new boyfriend and is sleeping with some other person. So I ask her questions like, don't you feel guilty for cheating? And you do realize this is wrong. And I even paraphrase my words in a way that is vague but also clear. For example, I would say, it's not fair. So many people work so hard every day to be successful, and you are here cheating and lying your way to success. Karen, narcissistic as F, would respond with snippets of I don't care and how she isn't cheating. She is only having fun and that everyone does it, so why not her too? This is too good to be true. Even her answers are vague. It's like God put his hand on my shoulder, looked me right in the eyes and said, "Bury this bitch." And I'd be damned if I didn't. As you probably have guessed by now, I was recording everything. The recording plus the photos and her assignments were more than enough evidence. I sent an anonymous email to the professor and I tell the girls so that they can prep for the shitstorm that's coming. 3 weeks later, results are out. She failed and lost her shit. She was screaming, crying, wailing. What a sight to see. You best believe the girls and I were laughing. She tried to talk to the professor, but he was not having it. She cried and begged for a second chance, but he said a hard no. So now she has 2 options. She goes ahead and doesn't graduate with us and takes on a whole nother semester for one measly course, or take a summer course and cancel her trip to Europe, which, mind you, she spent an F-ton on, something like 13 grand. And I know it could have been much cheaper, but Princess Karen only wanted the best, so yeah. The next couple of weeks, she spent sleepless nights because she was calling and canceling all the reservations she made, trying to get her money back. But again, God really was out for blood that day because the cancellation was so close to her trip, most places refused to refund, or some charged her cancellation fees. She only managed to scrap back $5,500 back together, losing $7,500. Ouch. It's not over. Having damning evidence, I, with earned gusto, told her she was going to pay all of the bills till we moved out, which was in 2 months. Payback for all the times she was late on payment or defaulted, and she would from now on do her part of the house chores, or else I'm gonna send it all to the admin and faculty dean, and she will for sure be kicked out, and all of those university years will have been for nothing. She hated it. She effing threw tantrums and cussed me out, but my God, if she didn't do what's told. She cleaned her stuff, apologized to Sasha for what she did. I forced her to come clean to her boyfriend. I don't know the guy, but the few times I met him, he was super sweet to us and I felt bad for the guy. I watched her actually do the dishes for the first time in like years. It was effing amazing, and I don't regret it one bit. In fact, anytime I feel sad now as an adult, I kick back my feet and reminisce, and a slow shit-eating grin draws itself upon my face. Don't hack my players, I have hobbies, posted by user/chaos81. I was an admin on a Minecraft server, mostly just to make sure things ran smoothly. Liked the server, but realized sometimes they were understaffed. Most people knew me and I fixed things where I could inside Minecraft, as well as their own computer issues best I could. I had a kid that I knew, I'll call him Player 1, from the server, log into our voice chat. all freaked out because another player had put something on his system and gained remote access, ratted his system, and he was spooked bad because his mom's finance info was on this computer. He was playing on the family computer. Sigh. Okay, I walk him through some things to look for to clean his system while asking for any and all details on how he might have gotten bit by this. Fate gave me better answers. The kid who got him logged into the voice chat as well, Bad Hacker, asked to join the room I was in with player 1 and introduced himself. Bad Hacker said that he ratted his system for the fun of it and would help him fix it. I call bullshit, but mostly he was being a bragging little fuck. You know the type. Young, full of himself, knows how to run a script. Deep sigh. I talked to him for a few minutes to see if I can get some info from him. Little backstory. I love the hacker ideology, but I don't claim to be one. Tech enthusiast? Sure. Geek? Yeah. Nerd? Why not? I did a lot of things in the 90s. Not proud of all of it, but I was curious. And left it alone after joining the military in 2000. And kept my nose clean for more than a decade. Didn't need that kind of trouble. It's now 2013-ish at the time of this incident. I might be behind the times, but I know how to research. You're mine now, fucker. I tell him, I happen to have a few skills of my own. By the way, did you guys ever fix the house, or is there still a blue tarp tacked to the side of your house? Also, dialing the number I found, I hear it ring in the voice chat. You should answer that. He picks up the phone and I say into it, maybe you should leave my players alone. So when is mommy home? The phone disconnects quickly and he leaves the voice chat a second later. I decide to leave it at that for Bad Hacker, mostly because I reached the end of my skill set. Granted, there were more things I could do. Report the link, called back later to get his parents. I leave it alone in hopes he learns something. I finish helping him clean his system and tell him to have a talk with his mom about what happened and what she should tell her bank, and that she can contact me if she wants further info. Far as I can tell, nothing has happened to player 1 or his mom after this. You want me to pay for your personal expenses? No thanks. In fact, you'll be paying for it. Posted by user /OneUpedGaming. This is my first Reddit, so apologies if the formatting is wrong. So to begin, this story didn't happen to me, but I was a huge point of contention between two parties, my mother and father. So about 3 years ago, my parents got divorced. When they got divorced, however, my mother did not remove my father's name from her car's title. So whenever she got into any sort of accident or needed repairs, she is not a very good driver, my mother would always send half or more of the bills to my father, who would just tear them up until he would just pay them. Now, after about 3 years of this, my father had had enough. She texted him a few days ago saying she needed new tires for her car, which in her mind, he was going to pay for. Now, my father is a very patient and kind man. He has paid for every fee for my brother and I for the past 3 years without my mother's help, and rarely complained or asked for money from her. However, she would always ask for money from him, and he would yield most times. He texted her saying he wouldn't pay for her personal expenses. She replied, sending pictures of medical bills for myself and my brother from the past year, as well as a bill for a vacation that she took, saying he needed to pay for those too, which he already paid his half of the medical bills and had nothing to do with her vacation. He texted her saying he wouldn't pay once again. She was furious over this. She then began to go off saying how he couldn't provide better for me, that she would claim me on her taxes this year. She wasn't supposed to because that would be violating their custody agreement, and how he was terrible and selfish for keeping both her children to himself. I moved out of my mother's place 3 weeks after they divorced. She was a slob and allowed grown men, who I, a 14-year-old girl at the time, did not know, into her home, and my brother didn't even want to live with her to begin with, so he didn't. They also stated that if he wanted his name off the title, he would have to give her money for it. Now, keep in mind, when they divorced, my dad paid to have her name removed off his car's title by himself. Anyways, while she went off about how selfish and horrible he was, she let it slip that she had a down payment ready for a new car. A down payment which was more than the cost of him purchasing tires for her current car. She even threatened to put his name on the title for her new car. Here's where the revenge comes in. My father called the state asking for a copy of the car's title to be mailed to him. Once he received it a few days later, it was go time. He called a towing business and had paid to get the car towed to his business lot, which was about a 30-minute drive from where we lived. an even longer walk from where my mother lived. She has no other form of transport. Then he received several furious voicemails from my mother, who he now blocked, about how he stole her car and that she was calling the police on him for theft. Now, about 2 hours later at my dad's business, a police patrol car shows up, asking him about the car in his lot, saying he ran the plates and it was reported as stolen. My dad then denied this, showing the officer the car title with his name on it in addition to hers. The officer then apologized for bothering him. He was working at the time, and left him alone. It's been about a day and a half. My mother has yet to get her car back, and has had to call into work because she cannot get there. And my dad is speaking with his divorce lawyer about legal actions to have her remove his name from the title, and get a restraining order from my crazy mother, for both himself as well as my brother and I. Life is good. Alright everyone, that's it for today's video. I have another ProRevenge coming tomorrow, so if you haven't already and you want to, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye!